It was one of the best games you'll ever see, and frankly, I was never worried about it.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into Locked On Bama, HSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. It's a live reaction show brought to you by FanDuel. We appreciate you making Locked On the number one sports podcast network there is. And you do that, you made it that way because games like what we just witnessed give us plenty to talk about. Jimmy, that was out of bounds amazing. Look, I'm going to tell you the truth. Roll Tide, Alabama, love it, do all that. About midway through the second OT, I was like, it's a shame somebody's got to lose. I mean, if this were, Auburn, I wouldn't feel that way. But with Arkansas and Acuff, the way he played tonight, I was like, it kind of sucks that they may lose for them. I mean, I want us to win. There's no doubt. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying you have a performance like that from a freshman. He was magical. But Alabama had a lot of magic too. I mean, Aiden Sherrill played his tail off. I thought Aiden Holloway, big clutch free throws like Houston Millette. Man, his 2 threes were off the charts. And LeBaron Feiline was fantastic in so many ways. I know he missed a shot that would have won it either in the first overtime or regulation. I can't even remember anymore. And he missed a free throw late, but he was absolutely fantastic. I mean, and Amari Allen. I mean, Acuff is in a different league, but Amari Allen is as good a freshman as you'll see outside of him, Cam Boozer, and Mazda, and Peterson.
It's amazing. The freshman class across the country is unbelievable. It's going to be one of the great NBA drafts in a while because it's going to be all these freshmen that go like in the top 10 and Acuff. I've seen him play a couple times this year, and he's impressed me every time. But that's obviously the most I've seen him play, and it was clearly the best game of his collegiate career to this point. He's fantastic. But boy, I look forward to hearing like Michael Southern, who knows the history of Alabama basketball in terms of where that game ranks. I mean, in terms of the most exciting game, and it wasn't just the 2 overtimes. It wasn't just Acuff's 49. It wasn't just Phylon. It wasn't just that it took 2 overtimes. It was all of it. It was the style of play made it such a fun watch. Both teams. I thought in the first half when Arkansas sprinted out to a couple of different 14-point leads, I was remarking, watching in the house, I was remarking out loud that I didn't really think Alabama was playing that bad. Now, I do know that I'm sure Nate was a little frustrated over lack of defensive stops at a couple of different points in the game. I'm sure he was. But even when Arkansas was up, I felt, gosh, Alabama's playing hard. They're really not playing that bad, especially offensively. I wasn't even shocked when they came back, although the comeback has to be a part of the story too. That's what it's not just one thing, Luke. There was 10 or 12 storylines that developed during the course of the game. And all in all, you add it all up. I can't remember a better game in Coleman Coliseum, but like I said, I look forward to asking someone like Michael Southern, hey, can you spit out another Alabama, another game in Coleman that was any more entertaining or better than that one?
Well, I do remember Alabama beat number 1 Arkansas, I think, when I was in school. And it was pretty awesome. I do that. I was at
95, maybe.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I know Alabama beat that Florida game with Antoine Petway.
That's a great call.
Trevor, I think it was Trevor Rutherford, right? That hit the 3-quarter court shot to beat Georgia. Ronald Steele also hit one to beat Georgia.
Yeah, there's been better endings. There's been better endings.
Better endings, but
start to finish. That was the best game.
You know what this was? Honestly, this was a lot like the 92 SEC tournament game, the semifinal, Alabama, Arkansas, when they had Oliver Miller and Day and Todd Day and Mayberry and all that.
That was great.
Alabama, Washington hits a 3 to win it. That was an amazing game. This game was amazing. It's so funny. This game was so good. I just took a screenshot of it because I didn't think people would believe me. That ESPN still has Alabama as only a 99.9% chance to win it. I swear that's still up there right now.
Hey, the officials could reverse it. So many things to talk about. So the officials that were calling the game did not overturn the goaltending call, but apparently there was a call from Birmingham
Okay.
that they had to take. I mean, is that what happened?
And that's what
That's what
Jimmy
Jimmy
Dykes
Dykes.
said. And if that's true, first of all, there's somebody who's in our chat. I think it's Bama Willie, who's actually an Auburn fan. And I'm welcome him being here. But he said that hey, you had to get a bad goaltending call. Actually, I thought the goaltending call was right. It was close, but then they overturned it. I was like, you don't have enough evidence to overturn it. Now you can
And then
say
they did.
made it, but there was, and then they decided it was goaltending. Let's play on. And then Birmingham called and said, nah, we got to do it again. And I'm like, what? I've never heard of that before, where Birmingham calls and overrules something they've already done.
Yeah, it's like Birmingham called and overruled the officials that were on court. And again, I thought it was too close to call. It's just one of those things where I'm like, whatever the call on the court was should have stood, because there just wasn't enough evidence, I don't think, to overturn it either way. I'm not saying that Alabama got ripped off ultimately on the call there, but really felt like a coin flip to me. And I watched it time and time again, like everybody else, and I just couldn't really tell. But for Birmingham to overrule it, I thought that was outrageous. I thought some of the officiating, as usual, was outrageous. This happens every time Doug Shows does games. But, overall, Arkansas played great. What a team. What a player in Acuff. They got other dudes, too. Calipari, he's always been one of my favorites in terms of, I think he's just an outstanding basketball coach. And now he's got his dudes at Arkansas. And let me tell you, they're going to be a tough out in the NCAA tournament. And, to be honest, Luke, that's one team I kind of hope we don't see again in the SEC tournament. Let's let someone else handle them in the SEC tournament time. I've seen enough of Acuff.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, we've been talking about, hey, you really want to dodge Florida. I mean, you might want to dodge Arkansas, too.
I mean, rather play
this
Florida
guy,
again.
And again, this guy is just, he was unconscious. It was crazy. Now, we've said all this, and it's just come to my attention because I've been dying to watch the Mississippi State Auburn game. I thought Auburn would win with Keyshawn Hall back. Mississippi State has, I think, 46 points at the half, and Josh Hubbard has 35 of them. He has 35 at the half, Jimmy.
Man, who does Hubbard think he is? Freshman Darius Acuff? I mean, Hubbard's been doing crazy stuff like that his whole career at Mississippi State. Another unbelievable scorer. And hey, it's just February. And but tonight is an excellent example of boy, we're closing in on March, and college basketball feels as fun as it ever is. And boy, shout out to Alabama for coming back down 14. I think they were down 14 a couple different times.
I thought it was more than that one time.
It might have been more. I just remember 14 a couple of times to come all the way back when Arkansas was playing well. I mean, that's one of the best teams in the country, in my opinion. Arkansas is one of the best 15, 20 teams. I really believe that.
Agreed.
And that's them playing great. We played them at the height of their game and still managed to come back. That's pretty remarkable. I always said Alabama would be tough to beat when Philon, Holloway, and Reitzel all have great nights. See, I mean, Reitzel made a couple of big shots. I have to look at the box score. I don't know that Reitzel had one of the best games of his season by any means, but I thought Holloway did, and certainly Philon did.
We got to talk about a little bit about Sherrill. We got to talk some more about Reitzel. There were some questionable moments for everybody, but Sherrill I thought he was awesome. So I got to talk about him when we come back. Going to tell you about FanDuel right now, though. Ever wanted to experience an NBA Finals game? Well, you did tonight. That was like an NBA Finals game, live and in person. FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into a reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip or two. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience. If you're already looking at the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock it in. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. That, of course, is a Jimmy Stein guarantee, just as Indeed is a Jimmy Stein guarantee. Indeed it is. Indeed's the best. Workplace chaos, deadline stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. Indeed sponsored jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for, the skills, the experience, the location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post like a sucker. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, so why aren't you doing that? You should be doing it. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. Look, just go ahead and check out Indeed.com/podcast. And look, you'll get a $75 credit, sponsored job credit. All you got to do is just go to Indeed.com/podcast. That's amazing. So go there right now. You need to hire. This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. Okay, so this is my first chance to really get to look at the stats. I mean, Jimmy, y'all don't know. Jimmy and I said to him right after the game, I said, "Can you go live?" He said, "Yeah." And so I started working on that. By the way, that Malik Thomas and Billy Richmond, they were absolute warriors tonight.
Yeah, they're not just the A-Cuff show. They have a chance, I think, to be a Final Four team. I think they have a chance to be a Final Four team because it's not just A-Cuff. But boy, doesn't A-Cuff feel like one of those guys that could have one of those Danny Manning, Carmelo Anthony type NCAA tournaments, where he just puts a whole team on his back all the way to the finals. I mean, he's that type of player. But there's 6 or 8 other freshmen like that, including the one at Tennessee, to say nothing of DeBanza and Peterson at Kansas, and Caleb, Wright at North Carolina, Cam Boozer. I mean, there's just so many of them.
One other thing I wanted to bring up, Bama Willie again. He's an Auburn fan. He calls himself Bama Willie for some reason, but again, that's fine. I don't blame you. I'd want to be for us too. He said, well, Arkansas guys fouled out, and they did. And I thought that would be, a big deal. But the starters for Arkansas, here were their minutes: 23, 47, 50 for A-Cuff, of course, 34, 37. Our starters were 16, 45, 39, 41, 25. And then we had one, Latrell Wrightsell got 40. They had DJ Wagner get 35. So those were about even. Then they had Malik Ewan, who played pretty well tonight, I thought. He had 7 big rebounds. He had 20 minutes. And Houston Millett had 29. So, yeah, we had a couple other guys, but Taylor Bowen, Noah Williamson, and Jaleel Bethea barely played. I mean, they played a grand total of 16 minutes. And Taylor Bowen, he was just not on his game. I mean, he's not ready.
He's clearly playing hurt, and which is, if that's not the theme of this season for Alabama. So we didn't get a great contribution from him, and that's understandable because he's clearly playing hurt. And being able to play and being able to play as well as you can are two completely different things, and that was well demonstrated. No excuses for Arkansas. They could have. Obviously, just
you had a 14-point lead. You had a 14-point lead with probably about, I don't know, I'm guessing 14 minutes to go. I don't know exactly. So
we have 13 scholarship players. 3 of them are out for the year. So we have 10 guys who were available to play, who are scholarship players. Apparently they had 7, but hey, that's sort of on them, to an extent, right? I mean, I know that Carter Knox is out, so I know
you're not going to get sympathy from us about, oh God, you've had too many injuries. Really?
The most injured basketball team in the history of not basketball, the history of injuries.
Sports.
We're the most injured.
Yeah. We have more injuries than ambulance. Anyway, the one thing I wanted to mention about Latrell Wrightsell. So we had the ball, and I want to say it was late. Yeah, it was that last, maybe one of those last possessions. I can't remember, but we shot it. We missed it. It hit the rim, came back to us. We got it to Wrightsell somehow. And it wasn't a throw, but it was, his feet weren't set. He wasn't ready to shoot it. I thought that he might've misjudged and gotten lost in terms of, time and space about what's happening, because I don't think he knew the shot clock reset, and it did. And that could have been a big moment. We had some moments. We had some mental lapses. We really did. But I think that's the other thing that's great about this is you get this win. And again, right now with Missouri beating Vanderbilt right now, just like I talked about earlier in the podcast today, go check it out. I said Alabama's got a chance to be in a tie for second place. Now they will lose that tiebreaker to Tennessee because they've lost to Tennessee, of course. But man, that is huge to move into that area of a double bye. And by the way, I looked it up, the SEC tournament, there's 4 games on Wednesday now, not just 2. So 4 games on Wednesday, 4 games on Thursday. And then, of course, if you get the double bye, you don't play till Friday.
That would be such a huge benefit to Alabama. I mean, it's a benefit all the time when you don't need the wins, and Alabama won't need the wins, especially after picking up another nice, Q1 win tonight, and it's going to help the net. It's going to help the seeding. It's going to help everything. And now you get a couple games in front of you that you just need to win. You're just a better team than LSU. You're a better team than Mississippi State. Sure, they have SEC players. You got to deal with Hubbard when you play Mississippi State. But I like Alabama's chances to. I mean, I think if they win the next 2, they'd have 21 wins.
So Alabama had 2 players with double doubles. That's what's so funny. And thank you, Corey Massengale, for pointing this out. The last time Alabama had 2 players with double doubles was Purdue last year. I wouldn't have thought that, but incredible.
Yeah, Sherrill, that was the best game of Sherrill's career. I wonder if the best contribution Charles Bediako is going to make to Alabama basketball this year, it wasn't the 3 wins that he helped. It wasn't that. It's being in Sherrill's ear about don't be in a hurry to go play pro basketball, because
that and practicing against him.
Yes. It's making Sherrill a better player in practice, but I find their games aren't identical, but there's a lot of similarities there in terms of just these big body guys whose games are sort of coming into their own during their year 2. Bediako, same way. And Bediako regrets leaving college when he did. Hopefully he's just telling Sherrill not to make the same mistake, because Sherrill's got the game now. He could go pro with a straight face. But he would be so much better served by continuing to develop his game in college before he takes on pro basketball. But he's getting there. This kid potentially has an NBA future, so don't waste it with impatience.
No, I'm right there with you. Just an incredible game. Can't wait to talk some more about this tomorrow. There'll be a lot more to talk about, I'm sure, as we digest all of this. Meanwhile, Mississippi State is now beating the brakes off of Auburn, which, maybe y'all don't like it. I do. I mean, but it's really just an incredible. I mean, that's the game of the year in basketball. I mean, you could have easily said before this game, it was probably Duke, North Carolina Saturday, but I really believe that
Dykes knows the game as well as anybody. He said it was the best game in college basketball this season. So I'll defer to Jimmy Dykes.
Well, you couldn't get up. I mean, I had to go to the bathroom one time, and I was like, see, my daughter, my 9-year-old, was like, well, I'll tell you what happens. I'm like, I'm going to make this as quick as I can. And I went in there and I came back. She goes, yeah, they scored. I'm like, God almighty. I'm going to have to train my bladder better. But man, hey, appreciate all you guys chiming in. Thank you so much for being here and watching us live. I'm so happy. Just an excellent win. Big for the resume too. So just awesome stuff. And I can't wait to talk some more about it tomorrow, Jimmy. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.